I knew him as Solus. Smart, thoughtful, loved to hear himself talk. But long ago, he had a different name. The Dreadwolf. Ancient elven god of lies, or heroic rebel against tyranny, depending on which story you believe. In his desperate fight against the corrupt elven gods, Solus imprisoned them, creating a veil that split our world from the raw magic of the Fade. He had won. But the veil cost the elves everything. Their magic, their freedom, even their immortality. Now, Solus wants to tear down that veil and undo the damage he caused, even if that means our world has to burn. Somebody's gotta stop him, and that's where you come in. So, where were we? Oh, right. Him. Our best plan is to stop the Dreadwolf before he can perform his ritual. After following his trail across half the known world, we finally tracked him to Minrathous, capital of the Tevinter Imperium. But to find the Dreadwolf in a city this big, we need a local expert. So, naturally, our story begins where all great stories begin, with the seediest bar in town and a missing contact. The Fade had opened, and the gods were free. Thanks to Solus, they'd woken up to find their empire, their subjects, even their fellow gods, all gone. But they still had the power of the Blight, and corrupting a village was just the start. They made plans to tap more of the Blight, all of it, to rebuild their empire. As a path to power, it had its costs. And everyone would pay for it. With their eyes on the Dreadwolf and the gods he'd set loose, they couldn't see their own personal demons coming to haunt them. Harding told herself it felt right. She was connected to the stone, to the lost titans, and all of Dwarven history, with its buried secrets. How could that be anything but good? They'd found someone who could fix their mirror. One of Arlathan's own Veil Jumpers. Just what they were looking for. And Bellara had found something else. An artifact that held a wealth of lost knowledge. But a prize like that was going to attract more attention than they'd bargained for. The crows had lost a talon, but the demon of Irantium was free at last. Sooner or later, debts new and old would come due. And they would all be paid in blood. It wasn't a perfect ending, but Docktown was safe. From tonight's demons, anyway. Nev's past was coming back to haunt her. She just didn't know it yet. Only the veil stood between us and a world of blighted darkness. But on this side, the gods could only tap a trickle. They had to turn that trickle into a flood. They sure could have used Solas's dagger to rip open the Fade. But some foolish mortal had taken it. So, they'd have to create a dagger of their own. Drowning the world in blight was just a matter of time. As one dragon flew off, now safe to finish its nap, uninterrupted, another was about to wake up. The surviving Antam poachers carried news of a fire-breathing Qunari back to their leader. Taash and the team would soon find themselves being hunted by the Dragon King. The Grand Necropolis was at peace again, and Emmerich was off to a new adventure. But in Nevarra, nothing stays down for long. The Venatori had unearthed something no one should have, and delivered it to the worst possible person. Emmerich's journey would soon bring him face to face with the Gloaming Lantern. The elven god of monsters had been hard at work. She'd taken the Darkspawn and made them so much worse. Now, she and Elgar'nan had their glorious new army. The risen gods were ready. And they had just the target. Harding left the Oracle's sanctum disappointed. Maybe she'd expected too much. Maybe there were no answers to be had. Seething with questions, she forgot the Oracle's dire warning. But far below the surface, something was moving, determined to be seen, and fighting to be remembered. Hezenkoss had been stopped, for now, but she had big plans for Nevarra. City-conquering, new ruler plans. And while she had some regrets about long-lost friendships, she knew her greatest invention was going to bring down the house. Archdemon blood's as dangerous as it gets. Grey Wardens keep it locked away for good reason. The stuff is pure evil. But not as evil as using it to blight the only griffins in the world. Now the Gloom Howler held that honor. Hassan's brothers and sisters needed a miracle. And it would be up to Davrin and his flying friend to deliver. The trap had failed. The Fang Scorcher was dead. But the Dragon King was a patient hunter. All he needed was a little help from a trader in the Lords of Fortune to set a new trap. And the bait was sure to bring Taash running. It's tough being a Venatori. It was their duty to secure the sacrifices. It was their duty to ensure the ritual went perfectly. But despite all their efforts, Elgar'nan was disappointed. The cult would do anything to please their gods. The cult would give anything to atone. Anything. It really is tough, being a Venatori.
I am Elgar'nan, first of the firstborn, last of the Venuris. Come to reign over you with fine and gentle hand. Citizens of Minrathous, give yourself to me. Together we shall unleash magic so glorious, so limitless, that all the world will be transformed.
The storm quelled, the sun dimmed, the wolf defanged. At last, we have balanced. Guided. Whispered. And soon, the poisoned fruit ripens.